Today we're going to be looking at templates in PDF. We're going to finish up with lesson 18 and talk about AutoCorrect. So we're going to deal with a couple items related to AutoCorrect. Then in lesson 19 we're going to talk about PDF. We're going to show you how to save a file as a PDF file. And by the way, this save process is the same for any file type. So if you were asked to save a file as a RTF file, or you were asked to save a file as a text file, you would use the exact same steps. The only difference would be what type of file you were saving at. That's the very last step. We're going to talk about how do you open a PDF in a Word document. And then finally we're going to show you how to create a template, or create a file actually, from a template in Microsoft Word. For this activity, what you're going to want to do is create a blank Word document. So if you need to, go ahead and do a File New and create a new blank Word document. Once that file is created, we're going to save this file. Please save this file to your Documents folder, creating a folder with today's date on it. And then name this file W18 try B with your initials. Again, W18 try B and your initials. Now at this point, what I'd like to do is I'd like to type a few things, and we're going to type things intentionally wrong. So please make sure you follow along with me here. We're going to type in the word mic. Now we're going to type in the word and, but we're not going to properly spell it. We're going to spell and, A-D-N. So we're going to make a mistype here. And when you press the space bar, notice that it does correct it. This is called AutoCorrect that's fixing our mistakes. Mike and Jane. And now we're going to mistype the word received. We're going to type this R-E-C-I-E-V-E-D. This is a misspelling. The E and the I are mixed up. When you press the space bar, it corrects the received issue. A package to again demonstrate. Misspelling again, A-G-I-A-N. Demonstrate. Now before we go on, I want to take a look at how to modify AutoCorrect settings. The example here is we're going to type in the word Suzie, S-U-Z-I-E. Please don't type this in your document right now. I'm just typing it in order for you to see what I'm talking about. And what I want to happen is that whenever I type in Suzie, S-U-Z-I-E, I want it to replace with S-U-Z-Y. This might be the spelling of one of our coworkers, and so what I want to do is I want to make sure that if anybody improperly spells her name as S-U-Z-I-E, it automatically corrects it as S-U-Z-Y. That's my goal. So what I want to do is I want to go into my AutoCorrect settings. I do that by going to File, Options. AutoCorrect is a little bit buried. We got to go into Proofing. Then we have our AutoCorrect options. In the Replace box, I'm going to type in the misspelling. So I'm typing in S-U-Z-Y with a capital S. My bad, S-U-Z-I-E. So I've typed in S-U-Z-I-E in the Replace box. And in the With box, I'm going to type in what I want it to replace it with, which is the S-U-Z-Y. So I've typed in the bad spelling, S-U-Z-I-E, in the replace. I've typed in the good spelling with the S-U-Z-Y in the with. I click Add and OK. I click OK again, and let's test this out. Demonstrate was the last word we've typed, so I'm going to type in a space, and now I'm going to intentionally misspell Susie's name. I'm going to misspell it S-U-Z-I-E, and when I hit the space bar, it should correct it back to S-U-Z-Y. Now, let's go to the next line. We're not really finished with that sentence, but we're done with what we need to be done with for now. Now let's modify AutoCorrect so that all you have to do from now on is type in your initials and it will spell out your name. Let's go back into AutoCorrect, File, Options, the Proofing group, AutoCorrect Options. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to replace my initials. Now I'm doing a capital S and a capital M, and I want to replace it with my whole name, Scott Miller. Now, a small caution here, guys. If your initials do spell a word, let's say my name was Anthony Miller. AM is a word, am, and so I would not want to use my initials. What I could do possibly is use my three initials, use your middle name initial. So if my middle name was David, Anthony David Miller, I could type in ADM, okay, and that would be acceptable. So when you're doing this, make sure you use capital letters for the replace, and in the with box, type out your name using initial capital letters as you would normally do. I'm going to click Add, click OK, and OK. Now, if I type in the lowercase form of my initials, it does not actually replace. Because I typed in capital letters, I must type in capital letters for my initials, and when I hit the space bar, it will replace it with my name. With my cursor at the end of the line with my name, I'm going to press the Enter key to move to the next line. And now we're going to go ahead and add in an address. So I'm going to type in the school's address, 215 West 11th Street, pressing the Enter key, Riviera Beach, Florida, 33401. I'm going to select these two lines and choose no spacing. With these two lines still selected, I'm going to go into AutoCorrect. Notice that the address is pre-filled. In the replace box, I'm going to type in my address. No space. My address, no space. I click Add. I click OK. And I click OK. I'm going to take and delete out the old address. Now, I'm going to replace that. I'm going to type in my address, just like I typed in the AutoCorrect. Press the space bar. and it will automatically replace with the school's address. You could do this, for example, and say my home address. You could choose an autocorrect that says my work address. You could create an autocorrect that says my school address. And each time, depending on what you type, it'll automatically pre-fill that address in. So you can do this for anything that you type on a regular basis. At this point, we're done with this particular file. So we're going to save it. And then I want you to close the file, but don't use the X. Go to the File menu, File, Close, to close this particular file. With Word open, what we're going to do next is we're going to go ahead and open a PDF file. To do this, we need to go to the File menu, choose File and Open. We are going to navigate to your computer, and let's start by going to My Documents for just a moment. Here will be a list of the files that are available in your documents. The actual PDF is on our server, so what I'd like you to do is go to the desktop, find Class Files, Desktop, Class Files, IIT, Word, and Chapter 2 is where we currently are. I want you to scroll down if necessary and find the file called W19-Try-C. As you will see, that file is a different format. It's a PDF file. I'm going to click on that file and choose Open. Microsoft Word does allow us to open a PDF file. However, it does need to convert this to Word format. So this is a box telling you that it's going to convert this to Word format. I'm going to click OK. Enable the editing. Click OK. Now we do need to save this to your folder with today's date on it. So let's go to File, File, Save As, go to our dated folder for today. It should already have the file name W19-Try-C, so add your initials to the file name. Now with this file open, let's go ahead and scroll to the top of the file. And at the top of the file, we will see a table. I want you to select that table because we're going to apply a table style to this particular table. With the table selected, we're going to go to the Design tab, choose My Table Style, and I'm going to pick one of these green styles here. I'm looking for green, Table 5, dark, accent 6. So that has applied a style to that particular table. Now I want to resize all the rows. The rows are a little bit bigger than they need to be. So I'm going to go to the Layout tab. And with the rows selected, I'm going to set the row height. Oops, my bad. Undo. Set the row height to 0.2. Set the row height for the entire table to 0.2. The next thing I want to do is I do want to modify the paragraph settings. So what we're going to do is select all the paragraphs. So I'm going to start here, scrolling down, selecting all the text here. So I've selected all the text in my document. And what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that all of their paragraph settings are exactly the same. So let's go into the paragraph setting dialog box. We're going to set the right indent to 0. Now, just as a note, in this particular document it's showing inside and outside. If you see inside or outside, where this says mirror indents, you need to click on this, and you may have to do it several times until it says left and right. That will make sure that our right indent is going to be set properly. I'm going to set this value to 0. The right indent is going to be set to 0. Next, we're going to set the space after. The space after is going to be set to 8 points. The space after set to 8 points. And I want to set my line spacing to 1.5 lines. So again, the 3 settings that we're adjusting in here, we're adjusting the right indent to 0, the space after to 8 points, and the line spacing to 1.5. I click OK. That should modify the look of this particular document. I'd like you to now select the flowchart that's probably on page 2. If it's on page 1, you can go ahead and select it there. But select this flowchart. And we're going to set this flowchart to a very specific size. We're going to set the size to 2.9 high. And we're going to set the width to 3.5. At this point, the flowchart will be on the first page once we've resized it. So what we're going to do is we're going to drag this flowchart down. I want this flowchart to be lined up with the top of the second paragraph, just like it was on the other page, but now we're moving it down to this page. I want it to be lined up with the second paragraph, and I want the right edge to be lined up with the right margin. At this point, we have finished the modifications that we wanted to make to this PDF file. Remember, this file was a PDF file originally. And we now want to save this file. So I'm going to click the Save button to save my changes. And now I'm going to go ahead and close this particular file. The last thing we're going to do is show you how to open a template. A template is a file that Microsoft or somebody else has provided for you that has pre-arranged information. So in other words, some things are already laid out for us. Could be some pictures, could be some sample text, so that we can, instead of starting from a blank file, we can start with something that's already pre-entered for us. All of your templates are found in the same place. Go to File and New. Up until now, we've always chose the blank document, but all of these other items that you see listed here are my templates. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to type into my search term here, I'm going to type in resume and press enter. And what this is going to do is it's going to search through all of my templates and show me my resume options. What I'm looking for is a resume with the name Timeless Design. Okay, basic resume, Timeless Design. Here's the resume that I'm looking for. Basic resume, Timeless Design. This is the starting point that I want to use for my resume. So I'm going to click on this file and create this particular file. Now you may notice that it has your name here. How did it know your name? Because it was based on your computer login and the name on your computer login. Now, you will see these options where it asks you for things like street address, city, state, that type of thing. These are called content controls. I'm going to click up here where it says street address, and I'm going to type in my street address. I'm going to type in the school street address, 251 West 11th Street. I'm going to zoom in so you can see this better. (251) West 11th Street. The city is Riviera Beach, comma, FL. Postal code 33404. Clicking where it says telephone, we're going to put in the school's phone number, so I'm going to put in a parenthesis, 561, close parenthesis, and a space. The phone number for the school is 841-7600. In our case, maybe we don't have a website, so we can select that content control. On the keyboard, we press the delete key to remove that particular content control. The email, we're going to go ahead and type in your email address. If you want to put your personal email address, you can. If not, you can put in your school email address. I'm going to put in my school email address. I'm going to zoom back out a little bit. Now we're not going to go ahead and take the whole time to do this, but as you can see, you've got a resume that's pretty much lined up for you. All you have to do is go in and change the content of each of these items to include the information that relates to you, and then you would have your own resume. We do need to save this file, so let's go to File, Save As, put this in our dated folder, and the name of this file is going to be W19 Try D with your initials. The last step we're going to do is we want to save this file as a PDF file. When you complete your resume, so say that we are now done with this, I now want to save this as a PDF file. The PDF file allows me to send it out, and it's a little more difficult to edit once it's in a PDF format. So what we're going to do is we're going to go up to the File menu once again and do a Save As. Again, we're going to put this in our November folder, the folder with today's date on it. But instead of saving this as a Word document, we're going to click this drop-down arrow. We want to save this as a PDF file. Now, just as a note, there are all kinds of file types that you could be asked on the test. On the certification exam, if it said to save the file as an XPS file, well, here's the XPS. If it told you to save it as an RTF file, well, here's the RTF file format. If it said to save it as a plain text file, here's the plain text file. So no matter what format it tells you to save as, the steps are the same. The only difference is which option you pick from this list. In this case, we do want to save this as a PDF file, so I'm going to choose the PDF option. A small note, at the bottom it says whether or not to open the file after publishing. Pay attention to the instructions on the test. It may tell you to open the file after publishing, or it may tell you not to open the file after publishing. If that's the case, you want to uncheck this so that you don't open the file if it's asking you to. So at this point the file should have the same name as before, except now it's got the PDF extension. I click Save, and my file is now saved to that document, to that folder. I can go ahead and close this file, and that brings us to the end of Lesson 19. In this lesson, we took a look at AutoCorrect and how to add our own items to the AutoCorrect setting. We showed you how to open a PDF file as well as how to save a PDF file to your folder of your choice. We then also created a file from a template. The template that we actually used in this example was a resume template, but there are many other types of templates that we could have opened.